Hello, everyone. I want to talk about forgiveness. I believe it's very strongly that only when we experience evil can we shine a light on our capacity to forgive. Because this is what I think. Even in the darkest of days, I feel like this thought of mine is really, really valid. Because, emotions like anger, hate, blame, hostility, they hold us hostage, don't you think? So it is in us to set ourselves free because forgiveness is that path on which we can stay so that we can set ourselves free. And, as humans, I strongly believe that we are naturally predisposed to being loving and accepting. If you don't believe me, if you are trying to approach a stranger in a crowd, do you think that he or she is probably predisposed for any kind of cruelty, or has any features that might not be appealing? Obviously, if you think that way, you won't approach them. But usually we have this belief in the inherent humanity of strangers and loved ones, don't we? So the reason why I'm talking about this is because all this self-pity, that I've been wronged, that somebody has said something to me, all this is very, very energy consuming. Takes up a lot of our energy to keep thinking and plotting our next revenge against the person who has wronged us. So, of course, there are a lot of areas where crime and punishment have to go hand in hand. Sometimes the children, we punish them or discipline them not out of anger, but out of our love for them, right? We don't have anger in our hearts when we punish them. And sometimes, if you see a surgeon with a scalpel in his hand, he is about to commit violence, but he is in a doctor's outfit, and you know immediately that he is going to either relieve the pain or suffering of the person he is going to commit the violence on. And then there are terrorists that we have to fight, and sometimes they might be irredeemable, and in those cases, those crimes cannot go unpunished. But I'm not talking about any of these kind of violent acts. I'm talking about when we get blinded by rage, and our revenge and our need to take revenge. So I'm requesting you to just start the practice of letting go. We often keep hearing the examples of Teflon and Velcro. Let go like Teflon, our non-stick pan, and don't let things stick to you like Velcro. Because I'll tell you something, there is beauty in letting go. It's don't misunderstand it with forgetting, because what happens when you forget is we are going to be condemned to get hurt again. That is, forgiving is different. Forgiving can happen two different ways. It can happen for ourselves, where we are accepting of all our flaws, and for other people, where we give them unconditional positive regard because we don't know what they're going through. So, if there is a person who is having road rage behind us and he just cuts us off, only if we have the full context that he's probably taking his wife to the emergency room or something, then we will like, okay, it's all forgivable, right? So let's just adopt that unconditional positive regard because we don't know the full context of the other person. Okay, instead of being consumed by rage, why not focus on what we have to offer instead? The thing is, when we forgive, we are not weak, but we are showing the strength and courage and our inherent resilience that, in spite of anything else, we will still persevere. We will still be here. Most importantly, if we are ready to let go and become free, we are actually not outsourcing the responsibility of being happy to others. Nobody else has to make us happy but our own self compassion. Here is something that I heard about the sandalwood tree. Sandalwood grows in India and it's actually trafficked quite a bit. Because it's very, very expensive. What happens to the axe that cuts the sandalwood? It actually has a beautiful fragrance. What happens when you burn the sandalwood? it gives, it literally spreads its perfume in spite of it being burnt to ashes. So let's, let's be the person who is the positive one, even though things are not going our way. Because um, again, we will not be working on our potential, but we will be unnecessarily, tediously trying to remember how we have been wronged and keeping a track of all these things and plotting the revenge. Ain't nobody got time for that.